See a bard in the corner. Hi everyone, it's Bardic Whispers. Today I'm going to be going through what's now called species, I think. They changed it from races. But using the player's handbook, special request, someone wanted me to go through the different races and just talk about and highlight some of these sort of flares and stuff. So we'll run through that. So I hope everyone's had a good day. So the races are at the front of the player's handbook. At the front of the player's handbook, as well as I think there's a few sort of alternatives at the back somewhere as well. But we'll just be going through the main crew. So going through different pieces of how to explain things. Step by step, I build the characters. It's really cool artwork. Choosing a race and choosing a class. And then turning ability scores, describing our characters. I have an example run through to building a Brindle, a dwarf. Got different things of experience levels and stuff. Alright, races, racial traits, age, size, speed, languages, sub-races. So this is going to be alphabetical, so we'll go from dwarf first. Kingdoms rich in ancient grandeur, holes carved into roots of mountains, the echoing of picks and hammers in deep mines and blazing forges. A commitment to clan and tradition, and a burning hatred of goblins and orcs. These common threads unite all dwarves. Short and stout. Though they stand well under 5 feet, dwarves are so broad and compact that they can weigh as much as a human standing nearly 2 feet taller. Long memory and long grudges. Dwarves can live for more than 400 years, so the oldest living dwarves often remember a very different world. When orcs conquered the fortress, they drove them into the exile and lasted 250 years. This longevity grants them the perspective on the world that shorter-lived races, such as humans and halflings, lack. Clans and kingdoms. Gods, cold. That's gold. Gods, gold, and clan dwarves who take up the adventuring life might be motivated by desire of treasure, for its own sake, for a specific purpose, or even out of altruistic desire to help others. Slow to trust, dwarves get along passably well with other races. The difference between the acquaintance and a friend is about 100 years, is a dwarf saying. So elves, it's not wise to depend on elves, no telling what an elf will do next. Dwarf names. A dwarf's name is granted by a clan elder in accordance with tradition. So male names: Adric, Albric, Born, Barrand, Brotter, Brenor, Dane, Garden, Harbrick, Travok, Ulfgar, Zeet, Thoradin, Thorin, Mulgren, Orsic. Female names: Amber, Arden, Bardin, Dangle, Deza, Eldith, Hilm, Mordred, Gordis, Vista. Clan names: Battlehammer, Brawn Anvil, Ramenheim, Strakenmill, and so on. So for Dwarf traits, ability score increase, your constitution score by 2, age, they can live up to 350 years, dwarf size 150 pounds, and 4 to 5 feet tall, speed 25 feet, dark vision, dwarven resilience, you have advantage on throwing against poison, and you have a resistance against poison damage. Stone cunning. Whenever you make an intelligence or history check related to the origin of stonework, you are considerably proficient in the history and skill, and add double your proficiency bonus. There's 2 different dwarves in the PHB subraces. So the hill dwarf, dwarven toughness, and there's the mountain dwarf, which has dwarven armor training. There's also Duragar. In cities deep in the Underdark live the Duragar, or Grey Dwarves. After centuries of captivity and torment by mind flayers, they have innate magical abilities to become invisible and to temporarily grow to giant size. I have Duragar in my campaign coming up. My party doesn't know that yet, but I've got an entire mountain full of Duragar just for them. Yummy tea. Let's jump to Elf. Slender and graceful, timeless perspective, they grew up to 700 years, 100 to 145 pounds, so very light, very thin. Hidden woodland realms, exploration and adventure, elf names. So most elves dwell in small forest villages, hidden among the trees. Elves hunt game, gather food and grow vegetables. Elves encountered outside their own lands are commonly travelling minstrels, artists or sages. Human nobles compete for the services of elf instructors to teach swordplay and magic to their children. Elf names. Elves are considered children until they declare themselves adults, sometime after the 100th birthday. And before this period they are called by children names. So child names is Ara, Bryn, Del, Fionn, Inil, Nile, Nurse, Fan, Real, Sin, Sai. Male adult names Ardran, Carrick, Paren, Corin, Immeril, Erden, Rydor, Roland, and so on. Female adult names Birel, Siren, Gilaneth, Hylena, Leah, Lashana, Cyril, Ty, Fidania, Xanaphia, and so on. Family names Amastakacia, Harlemion, Leodin, Nailo, Sain Model. Those are hard to pronounce. I do not know how to pronounce the umlaut. Elf traits. They have age 750 years, 5 to 6 feet, keen senses, they have proficiency in perception skills, Fey ancestry. Trance, they don't need sleep, so 4 hours for a long trance. There's the High Elf. As a High Elf, you have a keen mind and mastery of that. At least the basic magic in many of the world of D&D, there are 2 kinds of elves. Sun elves of Furin are called gold elves or sunrise elves. So a wood elf. Is there another elf? It says high elf, wood elf, and then a dark elf, drow. So, fun fact in those mountains, there are drow in that mountain as well, from the Underdark. Cult God Lilith. superior dark vision, drow magic. Then you have the halflings, small and practical, kind and curious, and blend into the crowd. Pastoral pleasantries. Halflings are affable and cheerful people. They cherish the bonds of family and friendship as well as the comforts of heath and a home. Pastoral pleasantries. Most halflings live in small, peaceful communities with a large farm and well-kept groves. Halfling names. Alton, Ander, Cad, Merrick, Milo, Osborne. Female names. Andrew, Bree, Callie, Cora, Euphema, Portia, Sharina, Vin, Verna. Family names. Brushgather, Good Barrel, Green Bottle, High Hill, Hilltopple, Tea Leaf, Underbow. Halflings reach adulthood at the age of 20 and generally live into the middle of his or her second century. So is that like 150? Brave. You have advantage on saving throws against being frightened. Languages they can speak and read common. And halfling have their own language. They're stout and lightfoot as the two classes, or sub-races, sorry. Naturally stealthy, you can attempt to hide even when you're obscured only by a creature that is at least one size larger than you. Stout resilience, you have an advantage on saving throws against poison. So similar to a dwarf, which makes sense. Then you've got the human. Variety in all things, a broad spectrum. Lasting institutions, exemplars of ambition, human names and ethnicities. Kalashai. Specific names for the Kalashai, male, female, and surnames. Atala, Sildu, Hammer, Hemd. There's the Hondathan. Hondathans are slender, tawny, skinned folk. Shorter and slighter in build than the other humans. Calcinites have dusky brown hair. They have like different sort of, there's a lot more like sub-races and ethnicities. And there's the Damaran. The skin hues are ranging from tawny to fair. The Wolfscan. Honda red light hair. Fair-skinned Milan. Hazel brown, slim, amber skin. Rashimi, a muscular, dusky skin, dark eyes and dark hair. Dusky skin. Feels as though they're trying to say something. You shall the Tethrian. So you have all these different terrain as well. Mahogany skin. That's very interesting. Very interesting couple of wording choices, I think, but you know. There's the Dragonborn. We don't talk about Bruno. Proud Dragonkin. Dragonborn look very much like dragons, standing erect in humanoid form. Self-sufficient clans, so similar to lizard folk. Self-sufficient, isolated kind of thing. Balasar, Baran, Donna, Gesh, Roga, Shaman, Torin, Panjed. Family names Akra, Biri, Nala, Pera, and so on. uncommon races. The Dragonborn and the rest of the races in this chapter are uncommon. They don't exist in every world in D&D. So Dragonborn traits. So they have Dragon Breath, which is cool. Draconic Ancestry. Black is acid, blue is lightning, brass is fire. Oh, okay, so some of these are actually lines and some of these are cones. So in my campaign I have a blue dragon, so it's 5 by 3 feet line. Rather than a cone. That's interesting actually, I might need to amend that. The resistance, damage resistance against whatever the draconian heritage is. Dragonborns are sort of good in that respect. Like, I mean, they have their secret weapon and stuff like that. But if you allow for like different races and stuff, or like homebrew builds and stuff, like Aarakocra, you can have talons and other things and stuff. It really depends on who and what you talk to. Gnome. Delighted dedication. Gnomes are concerned being alive is a wonderful thing, and they squeeze every ounce of enjoyment into the 3 to 5 centuries of life. I think a gnome would be cool to play. Bright Burrows, gnome names. Frug, Oren, Look, Warren, Glim. Female names. Nix, Oda, Ola, Zana, Carlin. Clan names. Baron, Faulkner, Timbers, Torin. Nicknames. Filch, Batter, Ku, Nim, Monshu, Pock. Seeing the world. Curious and impulsive, gnomes might take up adventuring. They're 40 feet. Their base walking speed is 25 feet. Age 40. They can live to 350 and almost 500 years. Adult life at 40. Gnome cunning. Have advantage on all intelligence and wisdom and charisma saving throws. There's a forest gnome. There's a rock gnome, which are tinkerers and stuff. Excellent. There is the half-elf walking in 2 worlds. So I spoke to about the half-elf race in a previous video when I was writing up Foxy Details. So let's see what kind of names they actually have suggested as half-elves. But they would use humans, so I don't think they can use Foxy Details. You have the half-orc, scared and strong, Barker Gromesh, Feng, Gal, Hunk, Swamp, Ront. Female names, Emin, Ingon, Cassif, Yavelda. Relentless Endurance. When you are reduced to 0 hit points, but not killed outright, you can drop to 1 hit point instead, and you can use this feature again until you finish and can't use it again. So these are sort of like relentless endurance for half-orcs and stuff. Like, it's really good for barbarians when you're in the thick of it and stuff. Tiefling. Infernal Bloodline. Self-reliant and suspicious. Tiefling names. Palial Siodos. Hakan and Malik. Infernal female names. Rita, Damia, Oriana, Macarena. Virtue names, Art, Chant, Creed, Despair, Excellence, Fear, Glory, Hope, Sorrow. Hellish Resistance, resistance against fire damage. So there is a few more, like there's Goliath, there's the Genesee, Water, Fire, Earth, Air, Genesee. There's the ASMR, I like the ASMR. I want to use them more. The ASMR is actually the DMG as an alternative. If you're a DM, I think just let anyone use whatever race they want to play, or anything like that, as long as you know what special traits they have and stuff. Because, I mean, you control the world, so you can change anything you need to do. Case in point for this, I have a cleric, and they can detect good and evil. A lot of my current creatures and monsters are either fey or infernal and stuff, and so they quickly are able to pick up exactly what's going on. So I had a couple of doppelgangers, and they got picked up really quickly by just having to detect good and evil. What I recommend is maybe just filling an environment with so much evil or fey magic or wild magic or something, so when they pull up that spell, it sort of overwhelms them, so they can't actually get a beat on something. So that's something I'm going to start doing in my second act of my campaign that we're about to start. Something's going to go wrong, and the entire globe is now filled with this energy that's going to be throwing off those things. So you can always counteract things if you feel as though you need to, but of course don't make it seem like you're going to, like you're actively targeting them, of course, and stuff like that, because then, it just disengages players. And sometimes it definitely, like, if you have these variants or these changes and stuff, you can definitely have a lot more role playing and sort of really lean into that. So this is just a quick run through, so I hope you enjoyed this. There's just these different pieces and stuff. I follow, role playing and like a backstory and creating a character from an idea, rather than rolling min-maxing or something. So, yeah, make sure you need to look at that. Third race of gnomes. Here we go, deep gnomes. So, Duragardian gnomes. They're pessimistic. That's great. That sounds exactly like me. Unlike the Duergar and Drows, verse for the build are good as their surface cousins. However, their humour and enthusiasms are dampened. Yeah, that's me. I'm a deep gnome. Alright, everyone. Thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. Enjoy your long rest.